to a brain you need to perform strongly. I want to begin this beautiful Friday that most busy professionals have never considered seriously. You cannot consistently speak weakness and expect cognitive strength. Because whether you realize it or not, there is a voice your brain hears more than any voice in the world. And that's not the voice of your boss. It's not the voice of your spouse. It's not even the voice of your colleagues, no matter how many hours you stay with them every day. That voice is your own voice. And neuroscience, which is brain science, has continued to affirm that the brain is always listening, always adapting, always learning from repetition, which leads us to a truth that is that your brain is constantly obeying the loudest voice in your life, and that voice is yours. Hmm. That voice is yours. Hello, and welcome to the Smart Short Break series today. I am Lester Grace, the confidence coach. I help you master confidence smartness through smart reading, smart thinking, and of course, smart speaking. Today, we want to talk about how to help you stop speaking weakly to a brain that you need to perform strongly. Because when it comes to brain science and brain performance, what you say to your brain, you say to your brain, is one of the most powerful determinants of the strength of your brain. Remember, you shall have what you say. You're welcome to this live session. It's going to be eye-opening. You will learn the brain science of your words. You will learn a lot of deep truth that you've never heard before. What you need to do now is to hit the subscribe button. Share this live with that professional that you need to save their brain. Save your brains. Save your brain. Save your brain. Be on this last session because you need to save your brain. That is the number one productivity tool in the world. Thank you for joining me today. Let's get into the conversation of the day, shall we? You can see and hear me. That's amazing. Let's get into the conversation of the day. Now, what we have noticed is that too many professionals are trying so hard to upgrade their results, doing everything to better the results that they have from their work, from the things that they do. But unknowingly, they are using language that trains their brains towards hesitation, towards doubt, towards mental slowness. And today, interestingly, is not I'm not here to tell you about positive thinking, positive confirmation conversations, positive dialogues and discuss. No, no. Today it's not about that. Today I'm here to tell you about neurological instructions. Your brain is a machine that works with instructions. And those instructions are the words that you see. Hmm, hmm. Because when it comes to the brain, words are never just words like we think. Your brain, I used to say to smart speakers every time that we have what we call the smart speaking course, which happens once a year at around September year. In the smart speaking course, I usually would say to smart speakers that the human brain is a computer and it runs on a program called self-talk. You need to write it down. This is not a smart speaking course, but this is bonanza for you. So collect it. The human brain is a computer. It runs on a program called self-talk. So, your brain, the way your brain is operating now, if you've been following this live session since February, good thing you're having brain foods now. Congratulations. Good thing you're having brain drinks now. Felicitations. Maybe you've heard me talk about somebody is saying, it's a French that clean. You don't want to hear me speaking French. It's cleaner than clean. Well, I didn't know when that came out. Okay, so maybe you're now doing some brain exercises, you'll be following all the conversations, you'll be trying to do everything I've been trying to do. Listen, the program your brain runs on, your brain is a computer, it's called self-talk. The Bible understands how powerful our words are to our brain. That the Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Hello, Dagriti. I hope I pronounced your name well. So this is not just about spiritual stuff. No, we're talking cognitively. Death and life, when it comes to your brain and how it will perform, are in the power of your tongue. What you repeatedly say, your brain gradually accepts as an instruction. What you repeatedly say, your brain gradually accepts as an instruction. Even though you want to forget everything today, do not forget this. Your brain is a computer. It runs on a program called self-talk. Hmm. Now, I'm going to be running you through some silent sentences that may be weakening your brain. There are some silent sentences that almost every busy professional is guilty of. Sometimes I walk into a space, I'm talking with a busy professional, I just say, just now. Sometimes I'm like, this is exactly the reason your brain is not working at the exact speed, pace, strength that you desire for it to work at just by these sentences. I don't want you to defend your language when I begin to name the sentences today. What I need you to do is just to notice the sentences. Because awareness is where mental reprogramming happens. I'll say that again. Awareness is where mental reprogramming happens. Again, that's what we've dedicated this month of February for when it comes to brain fitness, cognitive abilities, and all of that. We just want you to get aware. We just need you to get aware. Understand what is going on with your brain. Master the art of stewarding the number one productivity tool that your creator has given you. So let's get to those silent sentences. Can we go into it already? Silent sentence number one. I am not a fast thinker. Huh. Have you ever said that before? Don't beat yourself, don't fight yourself, but just answer simply. Have you ever made this sentence before? I am not a fast thinker. No, I'm not. Not this thinking thing. I think it's for some people. Me, I'm not really a fast thinker like that. Some professionals say it casually. Some people say it humorously. They say things like, no, go and call people like Leslie Grace. You know they're fast thinkers. And we were not really that fast thinkers. Like, you think it's a joke. You think it's just a sentence. It's not just a sentence. It is a programming, and it's the number one programming your brain wants. So it's not flex. It's not a joke. Once you say those words, you are not a sharp thinker. Immediately, your brain does not understand humor. You know, this Bible that said, say not to the angels that it was a joke. Don't say it. They don't understand it. It's not a message, it's not gotten. Every single word, your brain processes it as identity. Because your brain is prediction driven. It predicts. So once you label yourself as slow, the brain just predicts that, okay, I think here, the rule of the game here is let's just be slow. So immediately that's what your brain begins to interpret. Your brain reduces performance expectation. Your brain begins to work according to what you said. Hello, Mr. Chris. And the Bible says you shall have what you say. Now, because your brain is aligning with the identity it hears repeatedly, repeated language becomes neurological identity. Repeated language becomes identity. Simply put, repeated language becomes identity. You know, it was yesterday we talked about brain identity. Brain identity is formed by several things, but it is basically run by one program. I have come to learn at the end of the day in my life, number of years I've spent on earth, I've come to learn that there are two greatest forces on earth: choices and words. And the book I'm reading this week is titled The 80 Unstoppable Values of Life by Robert Williams, I believe. And in that book, something it was also said there that life, I want to quote the author, life is composed by choices constructed by words. Life is composed by choices constructed by words. So our words are not just words. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Our words are not just words. Elite performers speak in ways that expand their cognitive permission, not restrict it. The words you say will either expand your cognitive permission or restrict it. So they are not just words. They're not just, I just thought that I can just say it But you know, I'm not just I'm actually not a fast thinker. That's why I'm saying it. Those things you're saying is constructing an identity. Repeated language becomes neurological identity. Silence sentence number two. My memory is terrible. Ah, if you escape number one, you're in number two. If you've never said, oh, you know, I'm a slow thinker, you should go and call people like Mr. Chris. You know, those people, when they come down, they just think fast, fast, fast. They always doing things. They waste their brain. I think it's because they're younger. I've also heard this amongst older folks. Maybe in your workspace, you have younger guys and younger colleagues, and these people will always come up with answers. I've heard it. And then most times, the spaces I work in or I've ever worked in, usually among the youngest. So the people who think they are old, no, scratch that. They don't think, they know they are old. Each time there's a brainstorming activity, there's something that would, they just say things like, just give people like, let's see, you know what, for we in our age, so our brain is not, stop saying those things. It is until you see them that they become a reality. What do you mean? I read the book The Power of the Subconscious, and the author said his father learned French language in his 60s, became one of the best, started teaching people that. So how do you think you are? That you are using your mouth every day to say it's because of age, my brain is no longer working. What is that? There's nothing like that. Your brain does not answer to age as much as it answers to the words. The program that your brain runs on is called septum. It's not called numbers of age. No, it's called septum. It's not about the numbers. Let's go. Silent sentence number two. My memory is terrible. Many professionals have been taught that attention influences memory formation. But do you know the truth? Expectation is what influences attention. If your brain expects poor recall, that's what is affecting your attention. Hmm. Because there's a way you keep saying that thing. My memory is terrible. My memory is terrible. Your brain just says, you know what? In this place, we don't even store information because they are said. You know, like I said, the words is the program that your brain runs on. So the moment you keep saying those words, my memory is terrible, my memory is terrible, immediately they become ingrained. And that is now how your brain runs. And your brain begins to say things like, why even invest energy in something that the system assumes will fail? Why should we even store it when the owner of this brain has said this thing cannot stay here? Listen, every single day, your brain is listening for instructions, your words. One thing you want to do, I've talked about seizing your morning, the morning brain. If I've not had that live yet, I should have it this February. The morning, there's something called the morning brain. Part of what you want to do with the morning brain is when you wake up, give your brain instructions. That's why you should not wake to social media. You should wake to giving your brain instructions. This is the day the Lord has made. Today we're rejoicing and be glad today. I have a sound mind. I have a mind. These words are not just affirmations. They are the program that your brain runs on. Self-talk. No matter who is saying what to you, it is what you say. You shall have what you say, not what your boss says, not what your colleague says, not what your husband says, not what your wife says. What do you say? You cannot be insulting the brain you need to perform for you. How? Some of us wake up, go to work, we meet a younger chap at work, or meet someone who is quite smart, and for that, we start saying, the way these people do this thing, they don't do it as if it's nothing to write a book. Some of us are not really like that. What do you mean by that? Dear busy professional, you need to start protecting how you describe your mind. In one sentence, what is the description of your mind that you have? What is the description of your mind that you have? Because guess what? Your brain is listening. Your brain is listening. Your brain is listening. The description. What is the description of your brain you have? Is it I'm overwhelmed? Is it this brain is not really that sharp? Or my memory doesn't really keep information. What is the definition of a brain that you have? That is what determines how your brain works. And that's why in the 71 Smart Brain Bundle, we had to curate smart brain affirmations. It's one of the guides in that 71. We could have actually stopped at making brain foods, brain drink, brain exercise, brain habits, brain scriptures, but we added brain affirmations because I found that. And as I'm saying this, I know that if you've not seen yourself in sentence number one, you've seen yourself in sentence number two. If you're not, by the time we're done, you find yourself somewhere. You will need to get that one. You sit with that guide on brain affirmations, reconstruct, master the art of giving instructions to your brain daily. That takes us to silent sentence number three. I am overwhelmed. Hmm. Now, let us be honest. Modern work is demanding, yeah? And in today's world, you actually may have a lot on your plate. It may look like you are overwhelmed, but the truth is, overwhelmed is a term that is neurologically heavy. You need to stop saying it. It's not cliche. No, no. It's something that is saying, it's giving a message to your brain. To your brain, overwhelm signals threat. Now, when threat is detected, what your brain does is enters flight mode, survival mode. Once the word, I am overwhelmed, yes, and they have come out. The people that are saying I'm overwhelmed have come out. Oh my God. Let me say this. Using that phrase, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. What to do is just too much. The way your structure is just structured. And by the way you're threatening your brain, you're just telling your brain that, hey, run, run. Survivor brains do not think strategically. And that simple phrase, I'm overwhelmed, is putting your brain in survival mode. And every brain that is in survival mode never thinks strategically. They simplify, they rush, they avoid complexity, they literally run away. So a threatening brain cannot produce executive level thinking. That's true. For you to be able to think at an executive level, there's a level of peace and calm. There's a level of not like you don't have anything on your plate. Get me right. But there should be this inner knowing of I can handle this. Even if you do not know that you can say it, remember your brain is a computer. It runs on the program called self-talk. Train your brain towards capability. Forget about the work on your team. The most productive people you know, they get paid. There are times I will just get into the work, I wake up, the job is a lot. And I just say to myself, we can do it. We'll just start and we can do it. In fact, the team and I knows, the team and I know that we cannot say we're overwhelmed. We cannot make excuses. No, we can't do that here. We cannot we cannot say it's not possible. Two words I never want to hear. It's not possible. And an excuse. Like why? So overwhelm is already out of the plate. I mean, we don't think it's not possible. And we're not going to make excuses for not meeting up or not doing it. So we can never be overwhelmed. Because I understand that calm language stabilizes neural response. That takes us to silent sentence number four. Dear busy professional, stop saying I can't handle this. Stop. Stop. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. There's a strengthening that you have. You have been saying it. You memorize this in children's church as a child, maybe as a toddler. When it is now time to actually can, you now say you cannot. According to a network, I can't handle this. Stop saying it. Your brain is remarkably adaptive. As efficient as this your brain is, I hope you know that the same brain you have is the same brain that Mark Zuckerberg has. It's the same brain. There's no difference in brain. No. The only difference is the training. The only difference is the systems that we have built. There's no difference. The human brain is the same. If you repeatedly declare incapacity, your brain reduces its capacity. So capacity is a function. Capacity is a function of engineering. Every word you say is an engineer. You are engineering something to every word you say. Because you know what? Systems conserve resources when success appears unlikely. I'll say that again. Systems conserve resources when success appears unlikely. When it looks like this thing we cannot achieve, everything about your system will just shut down to achieve it. It's not laziness. It's called a biological conversation. Something is looking like it's too much for you. Never ever say you can't handle it. Have a neurological conversation. Language influences energy. Language influences energy. The same people, they were all 12, they saw the same land. But the moment the 10 said they cannot handle it, they could never handle it. Two guys said, this thing we can handle it. I mean, how are you saying that in that land they are eating people? How did you come out alive? I'm talking about the 12 spies. How did you come out alive? If in that land they eat people, you don't have the, in fact, you can't have the mouth to come and be explaining how you came out from a place where they eat people. But you see, that's it. You shall have what you see. Those people, those other 10 spies, had a biological conversation. We cannot handle it. This land, no, we can't deal, we can't handle it. But two guys said, we can. We are well able. And they could. Language influences energy. Write it down. Language influences energy. Language influences energy. So go ahead and speak capability. Even though you're learning the ropes, you're learning the job, it doesn't seem like you can handle it. You just got into this role recently, and everybody's expecting too much from you as the new executive. It is okay. Language influences energy. Language influences energy. The energy you need to do that season of your life, running as a new dad, you need to now run your business. Just say the word. Wake up in the morning and say, I can. Have you ever read the story of that Proverbs 31 woman? Like the kind of a lot that woman had on her plate. Yet she could. Language influences energy. Somebody who's in real estate, clothing and fabric. She's wakes up every has helps and domestic and industrial staff, a very long team. Language influences energy. Have you seen the team that Solomon handled? The number of cows that were killed to feed Solomon's staff. He had so much stuff that he was feeding daily. Look at the massive things people have brought by Old Testament. And you have not even handled anything. They're saying you can't handle it. What can't you handle it? You that have the newness of the rebirth of Jesus, the new Jesus. You that you are the living Jesus. You are saying you can't handle it. Go and see what Solomon handled. Like there was a time I was reading about this, and I'm like, one man, how? The kind of stuff he had, the food they were eating, not even the salaries, what they had. This is one man. The same brain you are not, no, scratch that, not the same brain. You have a better covenant than he does. So what is it that you can handle? Sentence number 5. I'm just not disciplined. Hey, come, come closer. Dear busy professional that's still struggling with time, still struggling with maybe managing a lot on your plate or your season of life, stop saying I'm just not disciplined. You shall have what you say. Don't say what you are saying. Say what you want to say. In the book, The Power of the Subconscious, when I was reading that book, there were so many stories of people who were sick, ill. Now, okay, let me tell you this story. Do you know that they were trying to test the power of words? I've told you that the two greatest forces on the earth is our choice and our words. The two greatest influencers of our lives, I beg your pardon, choices and words. Now, I want to tell you this quick story. A group of 12 footballers were put together. They wanted to test. This story was told by Pastor Mike Mother a couple of years ago. And he came to our church. He was preaching. He said, I will never forget this story. I just remember this. And 12 footballers were called. They wanted to test the power of words. And so they got 12 footballers and they told them, They tested them first medically. They told them they were going to pass them through the medical examination. And they tested them all. Their results came out clean, like they had no medical issue. But remember, this was a test to test the power of words on the human body and human brain and human life. So they told these 12 footballers that, oh, they were ill, chronically ill, and they were chronically ill, and they will not be able to move their feet, that the illness they have would damage them, and in a few days they would die. So they should go ahead and tell their families, pack up that they can't even go home, they have to be kept in the hospital for one instead. I tell the story really nicely. 12 people. By the following day, men and brethren, half of that number, that's 6 people, were literally paralyzed. You don't get it. By the following day, the doctor wanted to do this for a week and see the power of God, but just watch. By day one, okay, the one was when they told them. By day two, 6 out of the 12 people could not stand, that their feet could not move. Nothing was wrong with these people. Nothing was wrong with them, but they could not move their feet. By day two, by day two, 10 persons where they started having some skin disease, like physically, they started dying. These are people who were old. Now the doctors went to do this and now some of these people are actually now dying. That really dead. The one they couldn't do that test for 7 days. They had to stop. They had to stop. Because the doctors and everybody doing that practical realized that these people will not survive for 5 days. No matter what their health is. Why? Word. And I tell you for free, it's not the word that the doctor said. It's the word that they said to themselves, following what the doctor said. You shall have what you see. Let's not forget that this whole world, God did not sit down to create anything. He didn't use his hands to create leaves. He just said. He just said. Stop saying I'm just not disciplined. Maybe you have friends around you who are so structured, they have organized, and you now keep saying, with my temperament, I'm not just a bit stop that. Identity-based language is the most powerful language your brain hears. Anything you say, I am, it's who you are. That's why God is I am that I am. Because it is identity that you say you are that you are. Identity-based language is powerful. It's a powerful language, and it's a language that your brain understands. Hmm, hmm. You are not your pattern. Separate your pattern from you. You are struggling with discipline. That's a pattern. It is not who you are. It doesn't make you someone who is indisciplined. Oh, hey, doing. Stop saying that. Never turn a temporary behavior into a permanent identity. Never, never turn a temporary behavior into a permanent identity. That's why even when Jesus was doing some miracles, they looked at him and they said, "The kind of miracles this man is doing, come and be the king of kings." He ran. The Bible said he fled. Do you know why? People can actually just turn your temporary situation. Somebody is a leper. They will attach leper to the person's head. Blind Bartimaeus. Can't we call him Bartimaeus? But that's how humans are. Your pattern is not you. Separate pattern from identity. Stop turning your temporary behavioral struggles into a permanent identity. High performers describe themselves in growth language. Oh, this is discipline of the thing. So I have partners. Most times when they start, I just say, "You see this discipline, you'll be all right. This structure will get it right." Instead of saying, "I don't know why you don't get a structure, or you don't get it." I said, "Get there. We'll get there. This structure will master it." We keep saying it till it becomes a reality. because the brain moves towards the person you repeatedly declare it to be. That's a word. Silent sentence number 6. This is too hard. Hey, you see this sentence? It is forbidden in the Smart Speakers Academy. Forbidden. Forbidden. I don't understand it. It doesn't exist in my, like how? What is too hard? The brain constantly evaluates effort cost. What is the cost of the effort? What's the price you put on it? When tasks are labeled with the price tag too hard, the brain increases resistance signals. They are the one that said it's too hard. They are the one that said it's too hard. Fatigue rises faster. Think about it. Any day you say something is too hard, immediately you get tired. The moment you just say, this is what, but the moment you tell yourself, today, I'm making this meal number of meals between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. so that I can have a better morning. And that's what we're doing. You just have to strength to do. Focus drops sooner when you say it's too hard. Avoidance begins to increase. You just notice that you're avoiding something that you could have done because you called it too hard. But then the brain hears challenge, training as well when you say this. But when you say this is doable, immediately the brain gives you cognitive resources to do it. Some of you look at great people and say, this life I live is too hard. Every day, I know some people come to me and say, everyday life is so hard. This is so hard. I don't understand. No, I can't. I don't understand. How? How? They're doing prayer meetings online every day, which is even harder. And that is what even attracted into those prayer platforms. That's what attracted into that church. Yeah? Anyway, let's move. We're not talking business now. Let's move. So, do not train your brain to repeat from the very difficulty that can expand. The same difficulty of going to that land that expanded Joshua and Caleb was the same difficulty that hit those other 10 spies badly. Why? They did not allow their brain to grow and expand from seeming difficult. If you look at this 6 sentences I just mentioned to you, they seem a bit normal. But you see, when they are repeated, you weaken your brain. These are what we call repeated careless sentences. Just say them, just say them. Anytime I work so hard, malaria will just come. That's why malaria comes. Actually, it's your word. It's your word. You curated it. Brains are trainable. Language is adjustable. And identity is shapable. And that's why we created the 7-1 Smart Brain Bundle. In one full guide, you will get a 31-day brain affirmation. It's inside that bundle that you can begin to steward the brain. I keep using the word steward, and I will use it every day in February. You need to steward the brain with it. It determines everything. I tell you, it determines everything you can achieve on this earth. I want to say to you, get a Smart Brain Bundle immediately. If you put the comment section brain, you get access to the Smart Brain Bundle now. So the question you should ask yourself is, what has my brain been learning from me? I need to ask yourself this question. From the words I've been saying, what has my brain been learning from me? Has it been learning speed or hesitation or capability? What has my brain been learning? Has it been learning limitation or confidence or doubt? My friends, my team members, my family members, they know once you bring sentence I don't, immediately I just question. Immediately. A friend of mine recently wrote to us, said, I think that this creation thing is not, I said, there's nothing like creation thing is for. No, I don't believe that. And you know, one of my favorite quotes is a quote I wrote in Shama. In fact, I've only genius is not the realm of genetics. Genius is the realm of practice. So when something seems, I'm not living with this, when something feels like it is somewhat, you need to put in more work to do, realize that genius is the realm of practice. So it means that it is that way because you haven't practiced long enough. So what do you owe yourself? Practice to become a genius in anything. In anything, practice it. You have not practiced it up to 1,000, which is what they said, 1,000 hours long. You haven't done that, and you've concluded that this thing is hard. This thing is not for me. I don't think this writing of a thing is my thing. What do you mean by it's your thing? You can be a genius in anything if you can practice long enough. I think this conversation has been well flowed. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Listen, smart professionals do not leave their inner voice unmanaged. From today, start managing your inner voice. What you say to your inner self, start managing it from today. You're going to miss me this because I'll be here on Saturday and Sunday. But we'll be here Mondays to Fridays, weekdays 1 p.m. For you as busy professionals, the best way for you to spend your short breaks daily. Please do not come alone. Do not listen to this alone. Share this out with someone that should hear it so that they can stop speaking weakly to your brain that they expect to work strongly. I am Leslie Grace, the confidence coach, and I'm saying to you, thank you for joining me today. I help you master confidence markers through smart reading, smart thinking, smart speaking. I'll see you on Monday at 1 p.m. West African time. This is the Smart World.